Well, hey, Unstuck Tribe, thanks for taking a few minutes to listen this week. This is Sean, and I'm here with Amy and with Tiffany. The three of us serve together on the leadership team here at the Unstuck Group, and we're not normally on the podcast together, but this won't be a normal podcast this week because this week for us has been far from normal. Many of you have already heard, but some may have not, and we're all certainly, feeling a bit emotional. So we're going to kind of talk about this and share the statement that we posted last week.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we lost Tony Morgan last week. He had a heart attack, and it was a shock to his family. It was a shock to all of us. And we prayed for a few days. And on Wednesday, we got the news that Tony had passed away. And so we have been obviously in shock, and we're grieving. And we can't really believe we're recording this right now because nobody saw it coming.
Here's what we want you to know about Tony. If you have ever wondered if Tony Morgan was the same person behind closed doors that he was in the books that you read, or listening to this podcast, or if he was at your church facilitating a strategic planning session, you can just rest assured that he was.
Mm-hmm.
Tony loved his family. When he was traveling to serve your churches, he was always itching to get back home to Emily. He loved you guys. He loved the church, but he loved her more. His adult children loved spending time with him, and the entire Morgan family was often together watching the Cleveland baseball team or eating a really good meal together.
Yeah, he was just one of the rare leaders who practices what he preached. I don't know that I've ever worked for anyone who valued and appreciated the diversity of gifts and strengths on his team like Tony did. I think we'd all say he was the best boss that we ever had. He so empowered each of us, but not just us, all of us to serve in the unique ways God had wired us. He valued the unique ways God had wired each of us.
Mm-hmm.
He treated everybody with respect, no matter how small their role on the team. He never backed down from his role as the leader, as the captain of our team. And at the same time, he leaned on and appreciated the wisdom of all of us.
And above all, he was a leader who loved Jesus, and he loved the church. Man, the way that God gifted him. But I can still remember when he first prayed, the first prayer I heard Tony pray for our team for a meeting when I first joined 10 years ago. It was a graciousness that Jesus, that he had the chance to follow Jesus, and how grateful he was for God's love, and then just so grateful for what he gets to do. And I wish even our podcast listeners, when we pray, I will admit we pray for technology probably just as all of you. But if you were to hear Tony pray for you and his heart behind whatever content we had that week, how important it was that the Lord would just use that for a nugget or two for the listeners to strengthen their leadership and to strengthen the leadership of the church. So again, he was always working on ways to equip you better and to see your churches reach more people and help them learn to follow Jesus.
We know that many of you are probably wondering what's next for this podcast, and we wanted to just take a minute to let you know where we are and what we're thinking right now. We released the first episode of a new series this past week, What It Really Takes to Reach Young Families. But we had actually recorded 3 more episodes of that series, and those will be the last 3 that have Tony's voice and wisdom in them, and we know that he'd want you to have them. So this topic was just something he was so passionate about, seeing churches become multi-generational, seeing churches focused on rallying all the generations to reach the next generation. So we're going to go ahead and release those last 3 episodes, but we're going to wait just a bit. We're going to go dark for the next few weeks as we are grieving and celebrating Tony's life, and then we will release those last 3 for you starting in October.
So in the coming weeks, we just would appreciate and ask you to please lift up Emily, Tony's wife, and all of Tony's kids in prayer. Also lift up the Unstuck Group as well. We're certainly going to be sharing more details about what's next in plans to celebrate Tony's life as soon as we have them. So check our Unstuck articles page for updates there.